A break in humidity today, making it feel more comfortable outside. How long it lasts and when there's more rain in our forecast.
Vote of the dead. Complaints about ballots that were counted after the people who made them had died. Why they were allowed and why Wake County officials could face consequences today.
No casino coming. The Lumpy tribe votes against plans for a multi-million-dollar project. Why members say the effort could lead to their rights being taken away.
We're following those stories and more. WRAL News at 8 starts in 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on your Wednesday. We've made it to the middle of the week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Boy, was it comfortable walking outside
Really
this morning.
nice. Really nice.
Very nice. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRA Severe Weather Center. Nothing severe about this morning.
No, definitely not. I pulled up this shot here at Pinehurst at the Resort and Country Club. Lots of people out there on the golf course. Looks like maybe they're having some sort of ladies event this morning. Those are some smart ladies, I'll tell you what. Our dew point just dropped to 59, and our temperature is sitting at 67. A lot cooler than it was this time yesterday, with a big drop in our humidity, too. It is 71 now in Fayetteville, but 64 over in Southern Pines, 69 in Rocky Mount, 64 in Roxborough. Feels great out there. Temperatures are 5 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday, and we'll see mid-80s at lunchtime. Now, it is going to be a hot afternoon, but with a drop in our humidity, it's going to feel more comfortable than any afternoons going forward, at least through the next 7 days or so. We have a chance for showers and storms again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll show you how much rain we saw yesterday and how much more to come this week. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRA Traffic Center. Boy, we got Raleigh police working some type of incident right there in the median I-40 westbound. This is a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. No doubt adding to some onlooker delay, adding to the delays that we're seeing right here on that southern loop of the Beltline. So this is part of your morning commute. Just know that you're looking right now at a 5-minute delay. If you're with us in the last half hour, that was an 11-minute delay. So things are getting better on that southern loop of the Beltline. Probably in that area between Lake Wheeler Road and Gorman Street. If the northern loop is part of your commute this morning in terms of the Beltline, we're picking up some heavy congestion there as well. You're looking at a 10-minute delay between the I-87, 440 interchange and Wade Avenue. So let's hop over to the east of Raleigh, I-87 and Smithfield Road. You can see some congestion building there as well. If you will, in the last hour, boy, things were really thinned out on I-87, but not right now. Right now, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay. Friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. All the other major routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Several cars were involved in a crash overnight on I-440 in Raleigh. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker from that scene at around 11 last night near the Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street exit. You can see multiple cars with front-end damage. Right now, we're working to learn whether anyone was hurt. Happening today, the State Board of Elections will be revisiting a case involving Wake County elections officials counting ballots of dead voters in 2024. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar joins us live from the State Board of Elections building. And Ali, we know that the board will determine if Wake County officials actually broke the law.
Yeah, Laura, this has been a lengthy, ongoing back and forth case over the past 2 years, and state law mandates removing deceased voters, but it's not clear what to do if a person casts a ballot and then dies before Election Day. And so back in 2024, 2 Wake County elections officials voted to reject 42 ballots from voters who died before Election Day, but accepted 3 others. It was their family members' request. Now, the vote was divided along party lines, with Democrats approving the 3 ballots. Elections officials admitted their actions went against the state's interpretation of what to do when someone votes early then dies before Election Day. And in 2025, the Democrat-led State Board of Elections criticized Wake officials' decision, but decided to let them stay in office. Recently, a judge reversed that decision and sent it back to the state, and today, the now Republican-led board will determine if those officials broke the law. The State Board of Elections is meeting in about an hour at 9 this morning. WRAL will be following the outcome of this hearing. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. This morning, authorities are trying to learn what caused this severe fire here in Orange County that destroyed a home and killed pets. The homeowners say lightning might have caused it, but the official cause is still being investigated. This happened yesterday afternoon on Shade Tree Road. This is just outside of Hillsborough. It took over an hour and a half to put out the fire, and the home was a total loss. 2 dogs and a chicken died inside. The homeowner reported hearing thunder before smelling smoke, but again, investigators are looking into the official cause.
Well, this morning, new questions about the future of gambling along I-95. The Lumbee tribe voted last night not to move forward with a proposed casino. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's following this story for us this morning. And Kelsey, the tribe's chairman was pushing for this, but the voters said no.
Yes, Ken, that vote came in late last night. Lumbee tribe members voted to voted against moving forward with plans for a new casino. So we'll go ahead and show you some renderings now so you can get a look at what that area could have looked like off of I-95 in Robeson County. These images show plans for hotels, a casino, convention center, golf course, and more. The development would have been on the 240 acres the tribe purchased last year after being recognized by the federal government. The project was expected to create more than 3,000 jobs. It was also expected to bring in millions in tax revenue that could have been used for the tribe's housing, education, and health care. Those plans shot down last night after some tribal members expressed concerns over their gaming rights being taken away and passed on to the tribal council. Tribe Chairman John Lowry posted on Facebook last night saying that he honors the wishes of the majority and he doesn't have plans to bring this issue forward again at any point during his tenure. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
As the U.S. and Iran make progress in peace negotiations, President Donald Trump says oil is being transported through the Strait of Hormuz. This is a look at marine traffic from the waterway between 2:30 p.m. Monday and 2:30 p.m. yesterday. During that time, nearly 24 vessels traveled through the strait. It's a crucial waterway, as we know, for around 20% of the world's oil supply. The president says 19 million barrels of oil moved through the strait on Monday.
But as you know, we just achieved a historic peace agreement with Iran to end the conflict in the Strait of Hormuz. And by the way, yesterday, 19 million barrels of oil flowed out of the Strait of Hormuz, a very beautiful place.
So with this in mind, President Trump also says that he is keeping an eye on gas prices. He says he has ordered the DOJ to look into potential price gouging from gasoline companies. So let's take a look at local gas prices here this morning. They are up. AAA reports the average in Raleigh is up 5 cents from yesterday to $3.57. In Rocky Mount, it's up 12 cents to $3.49. And in Fayetteville, it's up 13 cents to $3.51.
Well, today, Democratic State Representative Maria Cavania will host a press conference about the effect of data centers all across the state. She'll meet with business owners, farmers, and anti-data center organizations. This is happening as local, city, town, and county governments are pausing the approval of data center development, at least temporarily. Today's press conference will be at the legislature building at 11:30 this morning. Of course, you can watch our previous coverage of data centers on the WRAL YouTube page. We have information on what an AI data center is and how it could affect your water supply.
So Ken, check this out. We just got an update here from Visit Raleigh in terms of how much money and economic impact was had on Raleigh in regard to the Stanley Cup final. It looks like they're projecting $13.4 million in that regard. Let me kind of walk you through this for a little bit. They're saying that the 3 home games in the Novo Center and Hurricanes watch party for away games during the final, these are the things that are considered in this. And in total, it says these 3 sold out games and 3 watch parties welcomed more than 112,000 attendees and generated estimated $13.4 million in total economic impact and produced $255,000 plus in tax revenue. Now, that's obviously just Visit Raleigh kind of talking about these the games themselves and the watch parties. But our digital, the manager of our digital side was asking, well, what does this mean for like Durham and the other places that were having watch parties too? So I think what we should do is look in to see what the total impact is, because obviously a significant amount of people in downtown Raleigh. I think last numbers were at least 180,000 people for the parade itself.
Oh, yeah, Chris, that's an economic gift that will no doubt keep giving. Hey, we got lots more to share with you here in the 8 o'clock hour. Addressing affordable housing, a major bipartisan bill headed to President Trump's desk. How this could help tackle affordable housing problems all across the country.
And every second counts. A local man lost everything in a sophisticated scam. How the key to getting stolen money back may come down to one thing.
And yesterday's front really delivered some good rain and a very comfortable day today. We'll take a look at how it feels and how long it will feel this comfortable. 8:13, what a beautiful morning it is. I definitely got the lucky assignment to be out here on the patio. It feels so nice. You'll notice the big drop in humidity and the very comfortable temperatures. Of course, you can see the gardens behind me. Beautiful sunshine. I mean, really, there's hardly even a cloud in the sky here, and it feels great out. In Southern Pines, it's 64, 67 in Durham, 69 in Wilson, and 67 in Goldsboro. Just a beautiful day. Get out with the dog, get out with the kids, get out with yourself to have a minute alone, moms, if you need one. We're going to be in the mid-70s all the way through 10 or 11, and we do climb into the upper 80s for our highs this afternoon with lots of sunshine, but it still will feel on the comfortable side. As a matter of fact, this will be the most comfortable day to get outside of the next 7. The big heat and humidity will return in just a couple of days. We'll check that out coming up.
And there's weather and traffic every 10 minutes. So I want to give you a live look at I-440 Ridge Road. These are the westbound lanes headed toward the Lake Boone Trail exit. But what you're not seeing is a crash actually a little further back up the street right here at Ridge Road and Glenwood Avenue. You can see first responders working this crash. It's causing some huge delays right now. You're looking at a 4-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So you might want to consider the southern loop of the Beltline, depending on where you're headed this morning. Another update in about 10 minutes.
Okay, Ken, thank you. A bipartisan bill aimed at making housing more affordable for Americans is heading to President Donald Trump's desk. The 21st Century Road to Housing Act passed the U.S. House yesterday in a 358-32 vote. Supporters say the legislation is designed to increase the nation's housing supply. It will also ease some regulations to help speed up construction and limit the ability of investors to purchase single-family homes. President Trump has previously signaled that he would sign the bill into law. Well, fencing is going up around the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial ahead of America's 250th birthday. There are also new security cameras and an increased National Guard and police presence. Teams have been working to clear algae from the pool, and pieces of blue paint have started coming loose. The president is doubling down on claims of vandalism being the cause of recent issues with the pool. At least 6 people have been arrested. You're going to want to listen to this now. A man in Fuquay Varina lost his retirement savings to a scammer. He shared his story with WRAL Investigates. The victim said it started with what he thought was a call from a wrong number. It turned into a months-long relationship and friendship, and he found himself talking to the woman daily. Initially, he did not want to invest in crypto, but she convinced him, and at first, he saw big returns. And then he went all in and lost everything. WRAL Investigates Megan Cloherty went in depth with me about this scam and why experts say it must be reported as quickly as possible.
If this happened to you maybe even 2 years ago, they didn't really know how to get the money back. And because it is such a prevalent crime, they've figured out and they have the tools, which are far above my pay grade to understand.
Right.
But they have the financial tools to start tracking where they're storing the money and where they're moving the money. But it is a massive money laundering scheme. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. So they try and get it away from U.S. jurisdiction as quickly as possible. So it's a time game. It's all about time.
It sure is. And this man lost more than $700,000. So Megan and I also talk about how the scammers who are behind this scheme are actually victims themselves and why this is called a pig butchering scam. You can find that conversation on the WRAL YouTube page.
Of the Stanley Cup making an appearance at the legislature. Lawmakers honored the Carolina Hurricanes and praised the team for unifying the state during this championship run. Staffers and families crowded the galleries and rotunda to get a glimpse of the coveted trophy. Coach Rod Brindamore, Captain Jordan Stahl, and alternate Captain Jordan Martinook were there as well. Coach Brindamore said the Canes championship run can be a model for everyone.
What I witnessed was a lot of people coming together and supporting us, but maybe people that wouldn't normally talk to each other were State fans and Carolina fans and Duke fans and whoever else fans coming together and supporting our team. And we're very, very happy to see us win because we're their team.
Well, both chambers passed resolutions honoring the Hurricanes, outlining their strong postseason play and, of course, the championship.
Well, and it's time now for our FIFA World Cup score of the day. In last night's late game, Colombia remained undefeated in the group stage. They beat the Democratic Republic of the Congo 1-0. Today on Fox 50, Switzerland takes on Canada at 3 p.m. Then at 6, it's Scotland and Brazil. And at 9, Czechia plays Mexico.
I want to tell you about the North Carolina Forest Service watching fire potential as the drought gets worse. One way it monitors drought conditions is by measuring moisture in the top layer of the soil. Now, when those upper layers dry out, fire potential increases, and fires that start can be more difficult to contain. Park rangers want people to be extra careful.
Leave everything in designated areas. So, like, for example, if you're using a fire ring, keep the fire there. Don't start a fire elsewhere. And also, like, you're using charcoal. Sometimes we have issues where people throw those ashes into the woods, thinking it'll just go away. That's another hazard and a no-no.
Park rangers also reminding visitors to stay hydrated and know the signs of heat-related illnesses.
Well, the percent chance of rain can be a confusing part of the forecast. This is actually a hot button topic online as well. Meteorologist Chris Michaels gives us some food for thought using a pizza pie to show what the chance of rain really means. Chris.
Yeah, anytime we can take food and weather and combine it, that's a good day, right? So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But that probability of precipitation or POP, it actually has an equation to it. It's confidence times area. But here's my problem with that. How can you put a number on confidence, right? Like, imagine me saying I'm 70% confident that 50% of the area is going to see rain. That would make that forecast even more confusing. So let's kind of use a pizza pie to visualize this. Pretend that the WRAL viewing area is that pizza pie. If 10 to 30% of it is covered in rain, that's an isolated chance of showers and storms. 40 to 60% of the area would be scattered, 60 to 80% would be numerous, and 80 to 100% of the area would be widespread. So over the course of the next several days, it's about a 20 to 40% coverage of showers and storms. So not everybody's seeing those, but today, Elizabeth, a 0% chance and a beautiful sunshine there on the patio. Looks like it feels nice, too.
It really does. I mean, I could just sit here for about 10 minutes and talk about how great it feels. So we are so thankful for yesterday's front. It brought us some significant rain in most places, not everywhere, but most. And then the high pressure building and behind it is just bringing us this glorious air mass. Get out and enjoy it while you can. As the high moves away from us, it's going to shift our wind eventually. Even starting tomorrow, we're going to see the humidity and the temperature creeping up. It really jumps up, though, for the weekend. This is a look at the way things go. You know, Chris was showing us the pizza there. I thought that was just a phenomenal way to explain what we mean by different percentages of rain and then what happens actually. So our 24-hour rainfall from the storms yesterday, the pink shaded area is where the rain was heaviest, and then it backs off to blue, and the lightest was in green. And you can see it was definitely not equitable, but that's the way almost every pattern looks when we have storms. Some places see some good rain and others do not. So in the purple shaded area, north of Wilson, right kind of in the 5-county area, eastern Wake County, parts of Nash and Franklin County, we saw as much as 2 inches of rain there. We move up to the north. South Hill had a real hefty cell there, so 1.2 inches. And then in eastern Halifax County, also some good looking rainfall totals. To the south, it was pretty sparse, except right around Fayetteville and Clinton, where we had 3/4 of an inch to about 1.25 inches. This is a look at the storm report reports that we had the little circles there, Nash County, Franklin County, Halifax County. We had some reports of some trees down. We do have some more rain in our forecast. Another front will drop in on us late week and bring us a chance of storms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Chris was explaining, the scattered, this is probably going to be more like scattered. 2 o'clock Friday into the evening commute. If you're headed out for your 4th of July holiday week, it's going to be a little messy during that evening commute. Saturday also just a small chance for some showers and thunderstorms, and then we'll see it again on Sunday as well. We take a look at our forecast, and it's going to be hot over the weekend too. Temperatures in the upper 90s. I'll show you how close that is to some record highs. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, we got a real trouble spot brewing on the northern loop of the Beltline. So let me explain what I'm talking about, because I'm showing you I-440 Ridge Road looking toward those westbound lanes at Lake Boone Trail. But what you're not seeing is a crash closer to the Glenwood Avenue exit that's causing right now a 21-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So depending on where you're headed this morning, you might want to stay local. Glenwood Avenue, Wake Forest Road, Six Forks Road, and the like. The southern loop of the Beltline, we've got them working a crash as well in the median. It looks like it's about to clear up right now, but we're still seeing the usual congestion we see on that southern loop of the Beltline. Right now, you're looking at a 3-minute delay if that is part of your morning commute.
Student loan changes coming up. 5 on your side tells you what you need to know about the end of the SAVE program and what's next for tens of thousands of North Carolinians.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26 here on your Wednesday. I'm Laura Levine. Let's head out to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, who I think has the best assignment of the morning. Elizabeth.
Oh, it's so pretty out here right now. I could just stay out here probably all day. The humidity stays low, just like it is right now. But of course, we'll have some warmer temperatures this afternoon. But it's beautiful in the gardens right now. Our temperatures across the area range from mid-60s in Southern Pines and Roanoke Rapids to 79 in Wilson and 67 in Durham. Exercise forecast. This is going to be the best day all week to get outside and exercise. Really comfortable through lunchtime. Yes, we do climb to almost 90 this afternoon, but as the humidity stays low, it should feel pretty nice.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, a real troubled spot in that northern loop of the Beltline as it look live at I-440 at Ridge Road. These are the westbound lanes heading toward Lake Boone Trail. The issue is a crash near the Glenwood Avenue exit causing a 19-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. So depending on where you're headed this morning, you might want to stay local on Glenwood Avenue, Six Forks Road, Wake Forest Road, and I'll have another update on this coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Ken, thanks. Several cars were involved in a crash overnight on I-440 in Raleigh. This happened around 11 last night near the Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street exit. You can see multiple cars with front end damage. Right now, we're working to learn whether anyone was hurt. Members of the Lumbee tribe have rejected an amendment that would have allowed for a resort and casino to be built off of I-95 in Robeson County. The plan was shot down after some tribal members expressed concerns over their gaming rights being taken away. The tribal chairman says that he will not pursue another vote during his tenure. Coming up next on Fox 50 now, the North Carolina Board of Elections is hearing a case about dead voters in the 2024 election.
A break in humidity today, making it feel more comfortable outside. How long it lasts and when there's more rain in our forecast.
Vote of the dead, complaints about ballots that were counted after the people who made them had died. Why they were allowed and why Wake County officials could face consequences today.
No casino coming. The Lumbee tribe votes against plans for a multi-million-dollar project. Why members say the effort could lead to their rights being taken away.
Lots to get to here at 8:30. We're glad you're with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine, and we're starting off our Wednesday with cooler temperatures compared to the last few days. Let's head out to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. That's why she's out there on the WRAL weather patio near the gardens, Elizabeth.
So beautiful out here. I just can't even get over it. You look at the numbers. I was inside the studio and I'm looking at the dew point. Oh, it looks nice and low temperature, but you step out into it and it just, I'll tell you what, it feels amazing out here. The dew point's down at 50. 59, which is very rare for June. 67 is our temperature, about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than it was this time yesterday. But yesterday, it was a real muggy tropical feels. We had those thunderstorms coming through. 69 in South Hill, at 64 in Southern Pines, 72 in Clinton. So we're starting to see the temperatures creep up a little bit. But as I mentioned, we're 5 to 10, 15 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday. Lunchtime, 82. We do climb into the upper 80s for this afternoon, but the humidity stays the same today and just starts to creep up for tomorrow. It does make today the most comfortable day. As we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it'll feel like yesterday. We're going to see more humidity, more heat, and a chance of afternoon and evening storms. We definitely need the rain. I'll show you how much we could see coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL traffic center. Boy, we got some heavy congestion on that northern loop of the Beltline as we look live at I-440 and Ridge Road. You're looking toward the Lake Boone Trail exit. What you're not seeing there in terms of the traffic jam is this crash that just cleared a short time ago right near the Glenwood Avenue exit, causing some huge delays. Right now, you're looking at a 14-minute delay. So things are getting better. A little while ago, that was up to like a 21-minute delay. So if you want to avoid the northern loop of the Beltline, you might want to stay local this morning and deal with Glenwood Avenue, Wake Forest Road, Six Forks Road, if you will. Here's a look at the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lane's moving away from us. A crash there in the median cleared in the last 15 minutes as well. So right now, you're looking at just a 6-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. Of course, once you get past the Gorman Street exit, it's really clear sailing all the way over to Cary. Here's what we're looking at in terms of other routes. We're picking up some delays around Williams Road coming in out of Apex. You're looking at a 6-minute delay and an 8-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest. But all the other major routes, I-87, I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, delay free at this hour.
Ken, thank you. Several cars were involved in a crash overnight on I-440 in Raleigh. This is video from that scene and the WRAL breaking news tracker at around 11 last night near the Wade Avenue and Hillsborough exit. So you can see multiple cars here with front end damage. Right now, we're working to learn whether anyone was hurt. Counting the ballots of voters who die before Election Day. That's the topic of a hearing at the State Board of Elections today.
Well, the now Republican-led board is revisiting the case because board members say they received complaints about two Wake County elections officials connected to this case. Let's get to WRAL's Ali Catalbar joining us from the State Board of Elections building. So, Ali, give us some background and walk us through what we can expect today.
Well, Ken, this has been a very lengthy back and forth case over the past 2 years. It has to do with 3 people who voted early and then died before Election Day. And so back in 2024, 2 Wake County elections officials voted to accept those 3 ballots, and it was at the family members' request. They rejected 42 other ballots from voters who died before Election Day. Elections officials admitted their actions went against the state's longstanding interpretation. But in 2025, the Democrat-led State Board of Elections criticized Wake officials' decision, but decided to let them stay in office. Recently, a judge reversed that decision and sent it back to the state. And today, the now Republican-led board will determine if those officials broke the law. The State Board of Elections meeting starts within the next 30 minutes. WRAL will be following the outcome of this hearing. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Catalbar, WRAL News.
Now to another story that we've been following this morning. Last night, the Lumbee tribe voted not to move forward with a proposed casino in Robeson County. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is following this story for us. And Kelsey, the tribe's chairman, was pushing for this, but the voters said no.
Yes, Laura, that vote came in late last night. Lumbee tribe members voting against moving forward with plans for a new resort and casino. Let's go ahead and show you some renderings of what that area could have looked like off I-95 in Robeson County. These images show plans for hotels, a casino, convention center, golf course, and more. The development would have been on the 240 acres the tribe purchased last year after being recognized by the federal government. The project was expected to create more than 3,000 jobs. It was also expected to bring in millions in tax revenue that could have been used for the tribe's housing, education, and health care. The plans shot down last night after some tribal members expressed concerns over their gaming rights being taken away and passed on to the tribal council. Tribe Chairman John Lowry posted on Facebook last night saying that he honors the wishes of the majority and he does not plan to move forward with this issue at all during the rest of his tenure. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
911 calls are giving us new insight into the moments when two attorneys were injured in a shooting outside the Wake County Courthouse. The shooting happened a month ago this week. Gwendolyn White is accused of shooting Mary Harris and Jeffrey Whitley. The attorneys were representing the Roseville Police Department in a legal battle involving White. Listen to the newly released 911 calls describing that scene.
I'm not there. There are several officers around there. All right, Lieutenant EMS? Okay, I can see two deputies right now. They have somebody in custody. And they're actually going through the scene of the people, of the injured people.
A grand jury recently indicted White on attempted murder and various assault charges. Her next court date is set for next month.
Drought conditions across the state are worsening. The levels at Wake County's largest water source here, Falls Lake, keep dropping, and it's now down to 64% capacity. That's more than 5 feet below normal and a 2% drop since last week. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, that is, says it's now the driest June on record at Falls Lake. The lake is far from where it needs to be for the city of Raleigh to lift the water restrictions. So even with the rain we had yesterday, the levels at the Eno River also remain lower than normal. It's the town of Hillsboro's main water source. Town officials say that water conservation is encouraged. Restrictions won't go into effect until the supply drops to 180 days. Right now, it's at 336 days. Some people tell us that they are taking matters into their own hands before those restrictions go into effect.
We've been trying to conserve. We have a lot of plants and stuff like that, so we do water them, but just on a limited amount, whatever we think we can, get by with and keep them alive.
So we did ask the town of Hillsboro why 180 days of water is their benchmark for implementing restrictions. The public works director says irrigation restrictions are year-round, and many customers naturally conserve water, so that works.
Well, Laura, the city of Raleigh, meantime, issuing 92 official warnings to customers last week for violating water restrictions. And before that, it only issued 10 warnings since the restrictions were put in place back in April. A little more than 160 violations were reported to the city last week. That brings the total since April to more than 600. Well, today, Durham is hosting the Summit on Saving Lives to help reduce gun violence. Local leaders and national experts will meet for the 3-day summit. They'll also release data from the city's gun violence analysis, as well as insights from more than a dozen community listening sessions. Today's summit gets started around 9 o'clock this morning at the Durham Convention Center.
A bill that would put restrictions on social media for many teens in North Carolina has hit a roadblock in the legislature. It could have gone to Governor Josh Stein's desk yesterday, but the House wouldn't vote on it. Instead, they're sending it to a committee so they can negotiate the changes. The bill would ban social media accounts for children under 14 and require parental consent for 14 and 15-year-olds. The bill's sponsor says they're trying to work out how age verification would work and who enforces it. He says the answer starts with the parents.
Instead of having parental permission to be on those, that parents would have to open the door for them. If they've bought the device and they've bought it for their kids, there would be a way for, I'm sure Apple can already do this, where you set it up and say, I'm the owner.
The bill would also allow the state attorney general to fine companies that don't do enough to restrict access. The fine would be up to $50,000 per violation. So we did ask whether enforcement would ever extend to parents instead of companies, and the bill's sponsor says the intent is to still focus on platforms.
Well, two college players from Tobacco Road are NBA bound after they were picked in last night's draft. Duke's Cameron Boozer headed to Memphis to play for the Grizzlies. He was selected 3rd overall. UNC's Caleb Wilson was up next, drafted by the Chicago Bulls with the number 4 pick. The draft continues tonight with the final round 2. Security concerns as we come up on 8:40 now. Sources telling WRAL a man was injured trying to escape the Vance County Jail this week. The new calls from activists and former inmates for change.
Plus, save plans saying goodbye. Big changes are on the way for thousands of student loan borrowers. 5 on Your Side has what's next for tens of thousands of North Carolinians.
And yesterday's front delivered some much needed rain and a really delightful air mass for us to enjoy today. I'll let you know how long the humidity stays low. 8:44. It feels so nice out here. Of course, we had that cold front come through yesterday with a significant amount of rain for most of us, not everybody. But it's such a beautiful day behind the front. You can see the gardens behind me. There's just beautiful blue sky here right now. Our temperatures are feeling very comfortable, at least 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. It's 71 in Fayetteville, 68 in Roanoke Rapids, 69 in Wilson and in Rocky Mount. So it just feels fantastic. Big drop in humidity. So, this time of year, sometimes it's comfortable to eat lunch outside, and a lot of times it isn't. It can be already, 90 and muggy at lunchtime. Today, not the case. 82 degrees, and the humidity stays nice and low. So a shady spot out at a cafe, or take your coffee outside this morning if you have that chance. This afternoon, we climbed to 82 at lunchtime, but then near 90 this afternoon. But the humidity stays low, so shady spots should be comfortable all day long. We are looking at the heat creeping back in time for the weekend, but an additional chance for showers and storms. We'll check that out coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, we're going to take a spin around the Beltline, give you a live look at I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, the southern loop of the Beltline. The westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see the heavy traffic on that southern loop of the Beltline. So this morning, here's what you're looking at. If this is part of your morning commute, you're looking at just a 6-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. Really nothing that's going to make you late. As for that northern loop of the Beltline, here's what we're looking at. It's a situation where there's a crash there earlier that's cleared recently, and things are definitely getting better. It was just a 14-minute delay. Now it's down to just a 10-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline.
Ken, thanks. Millions of Americans and thousands of North Carolinians have 1 week left to figure out big financial changes. The federal government is phasing out student loan repayments under the SAVE plan. 5 on your side's Alex Littlehells shows us who could be impacted and what to know about next week's important deadline.
Danielle Reynolds shares a story with countless other Americans.
When the SAVE plan rolled out, I was a single mom at the time, and I was like, well, I need to make an affordable payment.
A working mom who went back to school in her 30s, now facing a big financial adjustment when she graduates this year.
It's like, this is just another monthly bill that I just have to tackle. Versus now, it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a big bill.
Starting July 1st, next Wednesday, is a 90-day countdown, a 3-month window when student loan borrowers will start getting notices telling them they need to switch off of SAVE, a student loan repayment option introduced under former President Joe Biden. The flexible repayment plan faced court challenges before its official end this year. Borrowers must now choose from a collection of alternatives, which may raise people's monthly payments.
That SAVE protected more of your income before they took the percentage out. They use what's called discretionary income, which is supposed to be what's left over after you've taken care of your basics and your bills.
Tonight on WRAL at 6, just how many in our state are likely to feel the impacts? Plus, what should you do if you're a borrower, and what's next for the repayment process? I'm Alex Littlehells, 5 on your side.
The Vance County Jail is coming under scrutiny once again. Different sources telling WRAL an inmate trying to escape Monday and was seriously injured. This comes after 2 inmates escaped earlier this month. Security just one of the many problems the facility facing for years that has forced the state to get involved. Activists and people who have spent time in the Vance County Jail gathered outside that facility to protest yesterday. 2 former inmates described to us problems with cleanliness and a lack of supplies on top of these security issues.
You should not live in a facility where your doors does not lock. You have holes in the wall, feces running over. You're not getting the proper medical attention. You're not being able to bathe.
It's people sleeping on the floor in there too.
Well, the Vance County Sheriff was ordered to reduce the population to 20 inmates in April of last year. As of last December, the jail houses 64 inmates currently. Vance County is in the process of building a new $70 million jail. It's still years away, though, from opening.
Well, the SHARE program is expanding to 10 more Wake County schools. SHARE stands for Stop Hunger and Restore Earth. The program lets students leave or take approved unopened food during breakfast and lunch. The extras are placed in a central pantry cart for other students to use throughout the day while reducing food waste. Some of the schools joining the program next school year are Apex High, Bryan Road Elementary, and Oberlin Magnet Middle.
We're getting a new look at the Hurricanes victory parade from last weekend. The Carolina Hurricanes shared this Freddie Cam angle online. The Canes gave goaltender Freddie Anderson meta glasses to wear during the parade. Now, from this view, you can really see how many people came out to cheer on the Canes. While the police estimate more than 180,000 people packed downtown Saturday to celebrate your Carolina Hurricanes. Cristiano Ronaldo making history at the World Cup.
And the Magic School Bus could soon be headed to the big screen. Here's a look at what's trending. Let's start here. A live-action remake of the Magic School Bus starring Elizabeth Banks is gaining momentum. Variety is reporting that Rob Letterman will direct the movie. He is known for movies like Shark Tales and Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks will play the iconic Miss Frizzle in the live-action film. The movie has been in development for years, and it's still unclear when it will all be released. And, of course, you remember her from The Hunger Games.
Yes, and I just can't wait to see it all come together. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah, loving that. Well, soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo racking up the accolades. He became the first player in history to score in 6 different World Cups in Portugal's 5-0 win over Uzbekistan yesterday. Ronaldo scored twice. At 41, he's the second oldest scorer in World Cup history. Before yesterday, Ronaldo had gone 10 games without a goal in a major tournament, a drought stretching all the way back to November 2022. Portugal's next game is Saturday against Colombia at 7:30 p.m. You can watch that game right here on Fox 50. Another round of FIFA World Cup action happening right here on Fox 50 today as well. Starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon, you can watch Switzerland taking on Canada. Then at 6, it will be Scotland versus Brazil. And at 9 p.m., it will be Czechia facing off against Mexico.
All right. Well, all of that rain that we saw yesterday, as well as those tropical temperatures, are really making the way for cooler temperatures this morning. So let's head out to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, who's out there on the weather patio. Elizabeth.
It feels so nice out here thanks to that cold front. It delivered in so many ways. It brought us some much needed rain in most places. Not everybody, but there were a lot of places that saw some really good rain. That cold front moved eastward, and the high pressure system up to our north and west is building in. High pressure systems rotate clockwise, so that high is dragging down that nice, cool, dry air from Canada, making it feel really nice out there for us this morning. We'll take a quick look at some of the areas that saw some significant rainfall yesterday, from as little as half an inch in Clinton to around an inch in Southern Pines. It was our southern counties that didn't see quite as much as the central and northern counties, especially northeast. We ended up with some pockets where it was much heavier. One of the sites in Raleigh at almost 3 inches. That was kind of the big winner. But there was a lot of rain too, just east of Raleigh and Goldsboro, 1.8, Rocky Mount, 1.3, South Hill, almost 2 inches, over 2 inches in Roxborough, and 1 3/4 there in Durham. So a lot of people saw some rain that was really beneficial for us. 67 right now. Our dew point dropped down into the 50s, which is very rare for summertime, and we will enjoy it today, that's for sure. Our temperatures around the Triangle, it's 71 in Apex, 67 in Rollsville, it's 72 in Chapel Hill right now. And our 24-hour temperature change, we're running anywhere from almost 10 to almost 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, and I definitely notice it stepping outside. It will be a hot afternoon with temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90, but the humidity stays low all day, so if you can find a shady spot, it'll be pretty comfortable. There's our high pressure system that's feeding us that dry air. Notice the green. The green is where all the humidity is. We get into tomorrow and it starts to creep back, and then it's just full on by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it is waiting in the wings to the south, and we'll roll back in here. And you can see that on the Muggy meter. Feeling great today. Not bad Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're back to that real sticky summer pattern. We're not likely to break any record highs, looking at 100 for the record for both Saturday and Sunday. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have the chance of some scattered thunderstorms. Boy, it's going to be hot Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so hopefully you're ready for it, Ken.
Elizabeth, I'll take it from here. Thank you. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers, and we will have another check on weather and traffic coming up next.